Welcome to our performance-based teacher evaluation video. We're doing a video this year because you received this information last year, and this will give you a tool that you can go back and look at and review in your own time. Remember that our performance-based teacher evaluation system, or our PBTE, is just one part of how we really fulfill some of our potential. When we set goals, it really leads to a sense of accomplishment, and that's our goal as empowered learners at Rising Hill. We're going to review some of the purpose philosophy, a timeline, standard criteria, reflective questions, and our processes and forms. Our philosophy is that an evaluation system should include and help us to identify areas of strength and weaknesses, really improve in communication, provide support and direction, encourage our continuous growth, and be collaborative. This is your orientation. I would ask that you send me a note that you have completed this video. We will start to schedule our collaborative conferences with the goal of them being completed by the 13th of September. Those can be conferences as a team, or they can be conferences individually. Our observations will begin immediately after we've decided on our collaborative conference and our area of focus, and then we will schedule observations and conferences following that. Probationary teachers have 3 observations, with the 3rd observation being unscheduled or unannounced, and then a summative evaluation following those. Each of the observations also includes a reflective conference. Tenured teachers who are on cycle will have only 2 observations, and then following that will be a summative evaluation. And those teachers who are tenured but are off cycle participate in the area of focus process, and we do an area of focus progress check later in the year. Our Board of Education and CTTN developed some tools to work with our PBTE process, and it has been in place for several years. Since the creation of PBTE, we now use Talent Ed. Talent Ed houses our evaluations, and you can also review the standards and criteria in Talent Ed. We do specify that we have to work with 3.7. 3.7 is one of the criterions, and it's related to providing evidence of student growth and progress through data and student work. It aligns very closely with our work and our PLTs, and is something that we do as part of our school improvement process as well. Several years ago, the state established criterion. North Kansas City falls within that by using our PBTE process, and it does require us to follow that student growth model, and we maintain that and follow that using our tool. Again, we follow those commitments and those state requirements, and our CTTN evaluates it regularly. So what are those steps and standards? We have standards that are the principles used for the basis of our evaluation. We have 5 standards that we will visit. The criterion define those standards, and then descriptors give examples. So first of all, the standards fall into 5 areas. The first area is related to planning instruction, understanding the curriculum and planning instruction. The second area is related to the instructional practices and using strategies that ensure learning. The third standard is related to student assessment, monitoring, evaluating student progress. The 4th standard relates to our classroom management and environment. And finally, the 5th statement is professional responsibility. So again, standard number 1 is related to planning and curriculum. Standard 2 is instruction. Standard 3 is assessment and progress. 4 is classroom management and environment. And 5 is related to professional responsibility. Each of those are further defined within the criterion and in the descriptions. We use reflective questions that help us to relate to the different standards and criterion. You'll see those reflective questions posted in the materials that I'll email to you, so you can have further information about all the 5 standards. And then we'll use those reflective questions to help us focus, develop our area of focus, and within our conferences following observations. The PBTE cycle involves the orientation that we're participating in right now, the collaborative planning conference in which we'll determine our area of focus, our pre-observation conferences and observations, reflective conferences following the observation, and then finally the summative evaluation conference. For non-tenured teachers, that begins in February and completes in March. For tenured teachers, that can continue throughout the year. Again, this is our orientation process, and we're talking about this information, and I will be emailing and sharing the evaluation information, and we'll specifically be talking about that area of focus and collaborative planning conference. During our area of focus or collaborative planning conference, we'll look at those different standards and criterion, and we will make sure that we are picking an area of focus that supports your own individual professional growth and leads to our school improvement. We will all use 3.7 to provide evidence of student growth and progress through data and student work. And then the other area of focus that we'll select, if necessary, will help us to work as teams and again improve based on individual needs. I do recommend that only 1 to 2 area of focus standards are selected so we can maintain that focus throughout the year, but sometimes we decide to do one more based on individual teacher needs. Again, those can be meetings with a team if you'd like, or it can be meetings as individuals. As we move through that cycle again, the pre-observation conference and the observations include a pre-observation worksheet for the scheduled observations. We can schedule a conversation or conference for that pre-observation conference, or it can be completed simply through the worksheet. Our reflective conferences follow the observations, and during the reflective conference, it's a collaborative time in which we work together to review progress towards the area of focus and progress towards the standards, and ask questions and seek more information and strategies to improve. And finally, at the end of the year, we'll collectively complete the summative evaluation form in Talent Ed, and we will be looking at all 5 of those standards and then also including artifacts and evidence towards progress related to the area of focus. Self-reflection is the key to professional growth for teachers and is a key to raising student achievement. And we also know that self-reflection and goal setting helps us to increase our sense of confidence in what we do. So this concludes our PBT orientation. Thanks for taking time to listen and watch. At this time, you'll make sure that you send an email to me letting me know that you've finished this process, and then you'll also send an email or begin working with Lisa to schedule your area of focus or collaborative conference. So please do those 2 things. Send me an email to let me know you've completed this, and send an email to Lisa to begin scheduling your area of focus or collaborative conference. Thank you.